My precious child, before another thought dares to distract you, take a breath, the kind that reaches the deepest place in your chest, where your worry lives. Breathe there. Because what you're about to hear is not ordinary. And you already know that this moment was orchestrated, not by chance, not by mistake, not because you clicked at the right time, but because heaven has heard the ache in your voice, the silent prayers pressed into your pillow, the ones no one else ever. You've cried for someone, haven't you? Not just cried, warred, in silence, in sleeplessness, in frustration, for the one who carries your name, your blood, your heart, for the one who used to run into your arms and now drifts like smoke through your hands. Yes, I'm speaking of your son, the one you see and still love, not just in who he is, but in who you know he could become. The one who was once full of light but now feels distant, clouded, heavy. Beloved one, I know you've wondered, where did his joy go? Why does he feel unreachable? Why do your words fall like stones into water, sinking, vanishing, unheard? You have not imagined these things. You have not exaggerated them. You have discerned them, and heaven wants you to know. Your discernment has been accurate. There is something happening in the spirit around your son, within his path, through your prayers. And this message, this very moment, is a divine announcement, a sacred pause. Because the direction his life was taking is being interrupted. Right now, even as these words unfold, the spiritual realm is shifting. What was sent to pull him under is being met with a force stronger than sorrow, stronger than confusion, stronger than silence, a parent's prayers wrapped in heaven's fire. Archangel Gabriel speaks tenderly now. You have not failed. You have been chosen. The weight you feel is not despair, it is the call to intercede. You've carried the burden quietly, smiled through fear, said he's just going through something, when you really wanted to shout, something is wrong and I don't know how to fix it. You've watched him slip away, not in body, but in spirit. The light in his eyes has dimmed. His laughter doesn't land the same. His words are guarded or gone altogether. And yet you still see him, the real him, the one God whispered to you about long before he could even speak. And now you're here. This isn't a coincidence, it's a confirmation. There is a war over your son's destiny. And while you've questioned your strength, heaven has never questioned your assignment. That's why Gabriel has stepped forward. He does not come with fear. He comes with revelation. There has been a spiritual wilderness wrapping around your son, not to punish him, but to prepare him. He is not being pulled away. He is being positioned. But the weight of this process can look like rebellion, apathy, numbness. Do not mistake divine formation for spiritual failure. Your son's story is not ending. It is awakening. But that awakening needs something. It needs you. Your faith, your willingness to listen beyond what you see, your persistence to keep praying even when everything says, give up. Archangel Gabriel continues, heaven is not quiet, it is preparing. But you must rise, not just as a parent, but as a prophetic protector. What does that mean? It means the prayers you whispered in secret now echo with authority. It means your cries have created openings in the spiritual realm. It means that while your son sleeps, angels are moving, and they respond to your voice. This is not about being perfect. This is not about fixing everything. This is about standing in the gap. You are not just his parent. You are the gatekeeper. And while the enemy thinks he has drawn your son into confusion, heaven laughs, because you have not been silenced. And when a praying parent is active, heaven is not passive. Now hear this clearly. There is a shift coming, not in a year, not in someday, but in the next 24 hours. You'll sense it first. A nudge, a word, a moment of clarity. It may come through him, or through something so subtle, you'll almost overlook it. Don't. Recognize it. Receive it. Reinforce it. This isn't random. It's divine. Your son is not wandering because he is weak. He is being refined. He is not lost. He is being located by destiny. He is not forgotten. He is marked by God, and the marking upon him is why the attacks have been so relentless. Gabriel says, the enemy is not attacking him because of who he is now, but because of who he is becoming. That ache you feel, that's your spirit aligning with heaven's urgency. It's not anxiety. It's revelation. Do not numb it. Do not push it down. Press into it. Begin to speak life again, even if you have to do it through tears, even if your heart breaks while your lips whisper, my son is not the sum of what I see. He is the vessel of what heaven has declared. Say it again. Because in the spiritual, every word you release becomes warfare. The declarations you make tonight, the prayers you whisper in the stillness, the faith you hold on to when doubt roars. They are not empty. They are arrows of light, and the darkness knows it. That's why it tries so hard to make you feel exhausted, helpless, defeated. But beloved one, you are not defeated, you are dangerous, because when you believe, despite the evidence, miracles move. Tonight is not like other nights. Today is not like other days. This moment is sacred because your heart has caught heaven's attention. Stay. With me, there is more. Your son's breakthrough is not coming. It's already in motion. And in part 2, I will show you what to watch for, what to pray, and what heaven is preparing behind the veil. But for now, pause. Place your hand over your heart. And know this, you were never just his guardian. You are his spiritual shield, and your obedience is unlocking what years of confusion tried to bury. He is coming home. Beloved one, there is something I must show you now. Something your heart has already sensed, but your mind has been too weary to name. You've watched your son slip into silence, haven't you? Not just the kind that comes from fatigue or distraction, but a deeper quiet, the kind that echoes, the kind that leaves. Questions unanswered, eyes looking away, joy dimmed like a candle behind glass. You've told yourself, maybe it's just a phase, but somewhere within you, another voice, quieter but stronger, keeps whispering, no, this is something else. Let me confirm what you already feel. This is not just adolescence, not just personality, not even pain alone. This is warfare. Your son is not lost. He is being pursued, not by you, not by the world, but by a darkness that fears what he is becoming. A darkness that has studied his bloodline, observed his gifts, and now seeks to interrupt his calling before it's even fully formed. Do not panic. You have not failed. You were not meant to protect him from every storm, but to recognize when the storm is not natural. And child, this is not natural. There is a stirring beneath the surface of his soul, a tension between what the enemy wants to silence and what heaven is trying to awaken. This pressure, this resistance, it is not random, it is sacred indication. Archangel Gabriel speaks softly now. He is not acting out, he is under attack. Every cold glance, every slammed door, every retreat into music, isolation, or silence. These are not just mood swings. They are symptoms, not of rebellion, but of wrestling. There is a fight happening within him, a tug of war between light and shadow. And you, beloved one, are not merely observing. You are participating. How? Through your discernment, through your prayers, through the moments when you say nothing, but weep everything. He may never say it out loud, but his spirit feels your covering. And that covering is not weak. It is fortress-level faith, forged in nights where you asked heaven, what more can I do? You've done more than you know. Heaven has counted the tears you dismissed. Heaven has tracked the moments you bit your tongue instead of lashing out. Heaven has heard the silent prayers you whispered into your pillow. Nothing has gone unnoticed. Now, let me explain what's been happening beneath the surface. You've likely seen sudden changes, loss of motivation, irritability, shifts in friendships, unexplained heaviness. These are not just behavioral disruptions. They are spiritual distractions designed to draw his attention away from his true identity, because the enemy knows this. If your son ever sees himself the way heaven sees him, hell's plans are dismantled, and that's what this season is trying to prevent. But heaven is responding, not with chaos, not with punishment, but with intervention. Gabriel whispers, "This is not abandonment. This is alignment." What feels like distance is actually divine setup. What looks like silence is sacred preparation. What feels like delay is divine orchestration. You are not watching him fall apart. You are watching the unmaking of everything false, so that what is real, what is holy, can rise. But yes, it hurts, because before a heart is restored, it often reveals its wounds. Before a soul is awakened, it will fight through the fog, and before purpose emerges, identity is challenged. This is where your son is now, caught between the comfort of hiding and the calling to rise, and you, dear one, have been positioned not to pull him forward, but to pray him forward, to stand still while the wind howls, to speak life when everything around you is shouting doubt. I know it's not easy. You've looked into his eyes and wondered where he's gone. You've replayed memories just to remember what it used to feel like. You've questioned yourself. Was I too hard? Too soft? Too distracted? Did I miss the signs? Let me answer you clearly. No, you saw what you were supposed to see. You prayed when you were supposed to pray. You stood when it would have been easier to collapse. And now, the next part begins. There is a moment coming soon when the veil begins to lift. You will notice it not in a grand announcement, but in small things. A softened tone, a lingering hug, a sudden question he never would have asked before, a dream, a stillness. When it happens, recognize it, speak gently, act wisely, and most of all, thank heaven quietly, because the atmosphere has begun to shift. But understand, the battle will not end in one moment. Just as healing rarely arrives all at once, so too does deliverance unfold in layers. There will still be days of silence, moments of tension, questions unanswered, but the difference is, now you know what it is, and that knowledge is power. Gabriel reminds you now, when the parent perceives, the child is protected. You are not fighting for him. You are fighting with him, even if he doesn't know it, and heaven is fighting for you both. So tonight, do this. Before sleep finds you, go to his door, whisper his name as if heaven is listening, because it is. Lay your hand on his doorframe if you cannot reach his hand. Declare softly, this house is holy. His heart is marked. No darkness will prevail here. Do not fear what you see. Believe in what you cannot yet see. Because what's being birthed is not just a breakthrough. It's a calling. And the child you love, he is not lost. He is being led even now. The fire within him, the one the enemy tried to bury under confusion, is flickering again. You may not see the flame yet, but heaven sees the smoke, and it is rising. Stay with me. In part 3, we will walk deeper into this awakening. There I will show you how your voice, yes, your voice, is the key to unlocking the next stage of this miracle. But for now, let the truth settle in your soul. You have not failed. You are not too late. You are exactly where heaven needs you to be, and so is he, beloved one. Before we go any further, I ask you to breathe again. Not because you've forgotten how, but because the atmosphere around you is shifting. And when the spiritual realm begins to stir, the first sign is often found in the breath, that sacred moment when the soul pauses and says, something is happening. And something is happening. You've felt it, haven't you? The weight, the stillness, the pressure in the room when your son walks past without speaking, the ache behind his silence, the energy shift when he enters, like the light dims slightly, not in rebellion, but in wrestling. Gabriel speaks now. You are standing on the edge of transformation, not only for him, but for you. Because this is the part where the battle intensifies. Why? Because light is beginning to break through. The cracks have started to form in the wall the enemy built around him. Walls made of confusion, shame, rejection, and false identity. But the light that's seeping in isn't just from heaven, it's from you. Every whispered prayer, every silent tear, every word of faith you spoke when no one else was listening, those things have become light arrows, and the darkness can no longer ignore them. Your son may not say it yet, but something is shifting within him. You might see it in small ways. The longer pause before he snaps back, the tear in his eye that he blinks away before you notice, the way his shoulders drop. When your hand brushes his arm, he may seem guarded, even distant. But beloved, what you're witnessing is the moment before a seed breaks open. The enemy knows it too, and that's why the battle has intensified. Gabriel whispers now. Every storm he's walking through is trying to distract him from what is awakening within him. You see, the enemy doesn't fear your son's mistakes, and he fears his moment of clarity. He fears the hour your son wakes up and remembers who he really is. He fears the second he looks in the mirror and sees himself through God's eyes. He fears the day you no longer doubt the power in your prayers. And beloved one, that day is close. Let me show you what to watch for. There will be friction, not because he's rebelling, but because his spirit is fighting to rise and the old identity is struggling to hold on. He may lash out, he may retreat, he may push you away even as his soul draws you near. But you must remember, this is not personal, this is prophetic. He's not pushing you, he's pushing the weight he no longer wants to carry. And in those moments when you want to respond in frustration, pause, because what he needs now is not correction, it's covering. Lay your hand on his pillow again, not in desperation but in declaration. Say aloud, this mind belongs to God. These dreams are not random. This child is not broken, he is being rebuilt. You have authority in your voice, beloved, not because of your title, but because of your posture. Heaven responds to humble obedience, and your faith has echoed in rooms you've never entered. Gabriel says, your voice has power not because it's loud, but because it's aligned. And now, a turning is near. In the next days, perhaps even within hours, you may witness an unexpected shift. It might come through a conversation, a sudden softness in his demeanor, a return to something he once loved. It may not be dramatic, it may not be visible to anyone but you will know, because your spirit has been trained to detect what others overlook. You've been walking with discernment for longer than you realize. You've been watching patterns, praying through cycles, and standing in the shadows when others fled in fear. Do not downplay the strength of your presence. You've stood in the fire and didn't bow. You've waited in silence and didn't curse. You've believed in the dark. When no light appeared, this is the moment all of that prepared you for. And now a question rises in your heart. But what if it doesn't change? What if I'm wrong? What if he never turns back? Listen closely. That voice is not yours. It is the voice of discouragement. The final attempt to make you forfeit before the finish. Gabriel silences that whisper with one word: enough. Enough second-guessing, enough replaying mistakes, enough questioning the power of your prayers. Your obedience has already activated something in the spirit, and now, heaven is moving, not in your timing, but in divine precision, not in loud thunderclaps, but in quiet unfoldings, not in sudden change, but in eternal transformation. This is not just about your son's breakthrough, it is about his rebirth. He is not becoming something new, he is returning to what God always saw: a deliverer, a voice, a light, a warrior in formation. Gabriel says he is being marked, not by this pain, but by purpose. Now, beloved, I ask something of you. Tonight or in the morning, and take 5 minutes, no phone, no distractions, just you and the space where he sleeps. Kneel there. Don't plead. Don't panic. Just speak what heaven has already said. He will Rise, he will remember, he will return, and I will not stop praying until he does. You are not just praying from earth. You are agreeing with what heaven has already declared. That is power, and the enemy cannot stop it. Because the one thing darkness cannot survive is a parent who still believes. Stay with me. In part 4, we will step into the moment when the breakthrough begins to manifest, and how your authority in the Spirit becomes the key to his freedom. But for now, remember, the shaking is not the end. It is the beginning. Beloved one, there is something different in the air today. You may not be able to name it, but you can feel it, a subtle softness in his presence, a pause in his usual distance, a flicker, not yet a flame, but a sign. Let me confirm it for you. This is not your imagination. This is your intercession bearing fruit. Gabriel speaks now. The ground is shifting beneath your son's feet, not to make him fall, but to prepare him to stand again, in truth, in clarity, in purpose. You've waited so long to see something shift. You've looked for signs, for signals, for anything that says, God, are you listening? And today, the answer is whispering. It's not loud, it's not dramatic, but it is real. You may have seen it already, the way he lingered at the table instead of disappearing, the slight warmth in his tone, the question he asked that felt deeper than before, the way his eyes for just a second looked like they used to. Beloved, this is not coincidence. This is evidence. The evidence that heaven is not just hearing your prayers. Heaven is responding. Your son is not the same. And the resistance you feel now is because his old identity is fighting to survive, while the truth of who he really is begins to rise. This tension, this discomfort, this strange blend of hope and fear you're holding, that is the exact space where transformation begins. Gabriel says, before a miracle manifests outwardly, it wrestles inwardly, and that's where he is now. You are watching a holy struggle, not a breakdown, but a breakthrough becoming visible. There is fire underneath his silence now. There is movement beneath his stillness. There is light flickering behind his guarded eyes. He may not show it the way you expect. He may still shrug off your concern. He may still hide in habits that once numbed him. But hear this clearly, the numbing is failing because the light is speaking back now, and darkness cannot quiet a soul that has been called by God. You've played a bigger role than you realize. Every time you refused to curse the silence, every time you spoke peace instead of panic, every time you laid your hands on that pillow, you became a voice behind his breakthrough. Gabriel whispers, the enemy wanted you to give up, not on him, but on yourself. Because the moment you stopped believing that your voice mattered, your prayer mattered, your faith mattered, was the moment the enemy thought he could reclaim your son's story, but he failed because you didn't let go. Even when it hurt, even when it seemed useless, even when your spirit cried out with no answer in return, you kept standing, and now heaven is standing with you. There is a shift coming. It may not look the way you imagined, but you'll feel it. A dream he mentions, memory he brings up, a place he says he wants to revisit, a sudden desire to be near you, even briefly. These are divine indicators, not that the war is over, but that the tide is turning. Your job now is not to control, but to cover. Speak. Let's pray more. Don't rush the bloom. Just protect the soil, because what's growing inside of him is fragile, but holy. He is in the sacred in-between, no longer numb, not yet bold, no longer lost, not yet found, but seen and being summoned. Gabriel speaks gently. Heaven never forgot him, and heaven will not forsake you either. Let this be your instruction. Tonight, go where he rests. Do not speak. Do not instruct. Just be present. Light a candle if you have one. Stand at the doorway. Whisper once. He is marked. He is covered. He is returning. That's all? Then walk away? Not in defeat, but in divine confidence, because your confidence is not in the outcome. It is in the one who promised. And that promise, it is alive. It is breathing. It is unfolding. You are not hoping blindly. You are trusting boldly. This is no longer a battle for belief. It is a partnership with prophecy. Gabriel says, you are no longer waiting. You are witnessing. Let the light do its work. Let heaven complete what it started. Let your hands remain lifted, not in desperation, but in declaration. Because your son is not who he was. And soon he will become who heaven saw from the very beginning. Stay with me. In part 5, we will face the moment when breakthrough becomes boldness, and what to do when fear tries one last time to steal what heaven has begun. But for now, rest. You have done well. You are doing well. And the light is getting stronger. Beloved one, you've felt it, haven't you? That strange mixture of anticipation and pressure. The quiet before something sacred breaks open. Like you're standing at the doorway of a room you've been knocking on for years. Let me tell you now, you are not imagining this moment. You're not misreading the weight in your chest. You're not exaggerating the pull in your spirit. You are standing in the final stretch, the last press before breakthrough. Gabriel speaks. Gently, your son's spirit is trembling, not with fear, but with holy friction. The old is being peeled away, and the light is almost too bright for him to hold. But he's reaching. This is the part no one talks about, not the beginning, full of fear, not the end, full of praise, but this part, the in-between, where he's no longer numb, but not yet free, where every small victory feels fragile, where doubt tries to sneak back in just as faith starts to rise. You've seen flickers of change, but now you also feel resistance tightening one last time. Why? Because darkness always roars the loudest when it knows it's losing. You may have noticed, he seems more tired. Old habits flare briefly. His mood turns cold again, even after softening. There's tension in his words, or worse, a chilling quiet. And you think, was it all in my head? Was the shift real, or am I just hoping too hard? Beloved, let me answer that for you. Yes, it was real. It is real. It's still real. This is not regression. It's reaction. Gabriel says, when purpose gets close, pressure intensifies. This is the pressure before release. Your son is closer now than ever before, but the enemy sees it too, and so he throws. One final snare, fear, not just in your son, but in you. He tries to whisper, maybe he hasn't changed. Maybe your prayers aren't enough. Maybe this is just who he is now. But hear me clearly, those are not your thoughts. They are interruptions, false echoes, designed to distract you from what is actively unfolding. Don't surrender now. Not when you're this close. You've come too far in faith to be talked out of the victory. Gabriel reminds you, a parent's authority in the spirit doesn't fade. It intensifies at the edge of breakthrough. Now is the time to speak, not from anxiety, but from alignment. Speak not to your son's behavior, but to his calling. Tonight or at dawn, declare aloud, I will not parent by sight, but by spirit. I will not respond to fear, but to faith. My son is not falling back. He is stepping through, and I will stand until he does. This kind of declaration is not performance, it's participation. You are partnering with the prophecy that heaven already released. Do you know what happens in the spirit when a mother or father aligns their words with what God has already said? Walls fall, not instantly, not loudly but steadily, like stone cracked by whispered thunder, and your voice is thunder now, not because it shakes the earth, but because it moves heaven. Let me give you clarity. When fear rises again, when he pulls away, when old wounds bleed, you are not to panic. You are to pause and prophesy. Remind your soul, this is not regression. This is resistance. This is not the end. This is evidence. The darkness is loud because the light is winning. You must believe this even when your heart trembles, because trembling is not weakness. Trembling means the spirit is alive and heaven is near. There may be moments in the next 24 hours where you sense pressure in your mind, in your body, in the atmosphere of your home, like something is trying to invade or confuse. That is not random. That is the sign. Gabriel says, when the enemy feels the angelic footstep, he stirs chaos, not because he's strong, but because he's cornered. Do not be afraid. Instead, walk through your home, speak over the doorway, lay your hand on the hallway walls, stand in front of his room and say, you can tremble, but you cannot stay. You can whisper, but you cannot rule. This house is not yours. This child is not yours. This heart is not yours. Light lives here now. And after that, rest. Not because the war is over, but because your obedience has reinforced the victory. Heaven is responding to your movements. The veil is thinner than you think. The shift is closer than you can see. Do not let a temporary tension rob you of eternal truth. The transformation is already unfolding. You are not the observer anymore. You are the guardian, placed at the gate between the before and the becoming. Gabriel says, what rises next will not look like the pain. It will carry the promise. Your son will not carry shame into this next chapter. He will carry fire, but you must protect it now as it forms. Let no word of fear pass your lips. Let no doubt be watered with your attention. Let no whisper of what if steal the what is, because what is sacred, and what's coming is holy. Stay with me. In part 6, we will walk into the moment the promise takes shape and how your faith becomes a shield, not just for your son's heart, but for his legacy. But for now, breathe, not in retreat, but in readiness. The breakthrough isn't near. It's now, beloved one. Pause now. Let the stillness wash over you like a sacred river. Because this is no longer the waiting. This is no longer the crying or the warring or the watching. This is the witnessing. Gabriel speaks with finality. What you prayed for in darkness, you are now about to behold in light. You have stood, you have fought, you have loved when it hurt, and believed when it broke you, and now heaven answers not with delay, but with decree. Your son is not just stepping into healing, he is returning to divine design. Heaven is not whispering anymore, it is proclaiming. The lies that once clouded his mind are being shattered. The fog of confusion is being replaced with clarity. The shame that haunted his steps is dissolving under the weight of truth. This is not just restoration, this is resurrection. You may not see it all at once. It may not be thunder and lightning, but it will. Be certain it will be steady, it will be sealed. You'll know it by the look in his eyes, the softness in his voice, the way he holds your gaze instead of avoiding it. Gabriel says, the atmosphere has shifted, not because of him alone, but because of you. You stayed, you believed, you walked when you could have crawled, and lifted your voice when silence seemed easier. And now, heaven lifts you. This is a holy reward, not because you earned it, but because you obeyed. Not because you forced it, but because you partnered with what was already written, and what was written. That your son would not be lost, that his name was etched into the scrolls of purpose, that his heart would not belong to confusion forever, that God's hand was never removed, only hidden for a time. Gabriel speaks with a holy fire. This battle ends here, not with defeat, but with declaration. Declare it now, not in hope, but in certainty. This house is healed, my son is free, my prayers are fulfilled. This was never just a struggle, it was a sacred setup. Heaven has not simply answered, heaven has honored you. And as your son steps forward, slowly, bravely, beautifully, know that you are stepping with him, not as the one who saved him, but as the one who stood still while God did. There is fire on his path now, not to consume him, but to mark him, to make him new. He will speak one day of this moment, maybe not tomorrow, maybe not with words, but with transformation. You'll hear it. in his laughter, see it in his steps, feel it in the calm that now rests over your home. Gabriel says, the chains are not only breaking, they are gone. And as the dust of battle settles, heaven places a crown not only on your son's head, but on yours, a crown of endurance, a crown of faith, a crown of holy partnership. You were not just a parent, you were a warrior in prayer, a gatekeeper of destiny, a steward of a sacred life. Now, breathe again, not in mourning, but in majesty. You are not broken. You are branded, marked not by the trauma, but by the testimony. Heaven sings now, not just over him, but over you, because you said yes when it cost everything, because you stood when it seemed senseless, because you loved when it looked hopeless. And now, beloved, the Lord says, your son is mine. Your prayers are fulfilled. Your obedience is recorded. Your story is now a monument of mercy. This is the moment where pain becomes power, where waiting becomes wonder, where intercession becomes inheritance. Gabriel speaks one last time. The room you wept in, it is now a sanctuary. The pillow you anointed, now a place of peace. The hallway you prayed through, a passageway of promise. Let this seal it. No weapon formed against him will prosper. No darkness can reclaim what light has claimed. No voice can override what heaven has spoken. Walk your home tonight, not as a worried parent, but as a witness of the miraculous. Touch his doorframe and simply say, he is free. Say it softly. Say it with faith. Say it like heaven hears you, because it does. Your obedience didn't just change his future, it changed yours. The story has turned, and you, precious soul, were chosen to watch it unfold. Hold this in your spirit. I will not question the delay. I will honor the process. I will rejoice in the fulfillment. This is not the end. This is the first day of a new beginning. Let the joy rise. Let your soul breathe again. Let heaven's victory fill your home. And as this sacred message concludes, hold your hands open and say, thank you, Lord. It is done. It is sealed. It is blessed. Gabriel is still with you. Heaven is still speaking, and your son's name is still being whispered in divine places. You are not alone. You were never alone, and you never will be.